safety and pollution expert. He will also be commenting on the NNPC pipeline rehabilitation contract in the Niger Delta. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Thank you very much. And I'm also the president of Asia Youth Council worldwide, not just a foremost Niger Delta youth leader. Thank you very much.
Okay, President Alaye, good to have you on the morning show.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're discussing modular refineries.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
In 2018, about 25 licenses were given out to encourage modular refineries to check, crude oil theft, to increase crude oil production, about 30,000 barrels per day per modular refinery. Is there any of those modular refineries still in operation, and why? And if the policy failed, why?
Thank you very much. You know, the modular refineries basically was not just to produce or increase production of petroleum products in Nigeria, but also to see how employment, engagement of youth in the Niger Delta can also be considered. As a result of the youth restiveness, unemployment that have faced our people over time. But when these modular refinery licenses were given, the stakeholders from the Niger Delta region were not put into consideration. Secondly, those licenses that were given out for the companies to operate were not of the interest of the people of the Niger Delta. So I will tell you categorically that with what is on ground, no modular refinery is operational. Even at least it's about 2 that is 99 or 90% completed, but they are not also operational. So I can categorically tell you that the APC policy of the modular refinery that was implemented 2018 has completely failed, and they never got the goal of which those licenses were given. And that is why we keep on always telling the federal government and the IOCs and the agencies in charge that anytime they want to carry out policies or programs or issues like modular refinery that has to do with the people of the Niger Delta, the critical stakeholders, the players, the Niger Delta sons and daughters that are in the oil and gas sector should always be put into consideration. Like now what is happening in Bayelsa State, our renowned and most famous son, Ezekiel, is building a private refinery in Bayelsa State. But you know how capital intensive that is. But hadn't been those modular refinery licenses were given to people like Ezekiel at that time, or the likes of Kenny Tete, or Engineer Joseph Pinawo of First Marine Investment, at least some of these projects would have come to play. And that is why we make it very, very clear as a council, as a people, that whatever policies, whatever program that has to do with the people of the Niger Delta, the stakeholders should always be put into consideration, and they should not play politics with the development of the Niger Delta region. So I will categorically tell you that the modular refinery, the aim, the goals have not been achieved, and that is why you see that the illegal refinery, as we speak today, is still booming very high as a result of unemployment. Not because people just want to bastardize their environment or tamper with the economic activities of the region. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Comrade Alaye. One of the challenges some operators have identified in terms of the licenses given for, initial licenses given for the modular refineries, is access to funding for the initial 2 years of the license and not being able to secure that. And when it was time to renew their licenses, they just didn't have the funding to, or they were not able to access funding to do this. What is the situation of things currently in terms of your access to funding? And also, how have you optimized, or how has the removal of fuel subsidy by the federal government been leveraged for operators in this industry?
What we are saying is those licenses were given to people that were not really ready for the business. There is no way you will go and ask for, even as a council president, as I speak to you, there are partners that are willing to get those licenses to come and develop in the Niger Delta region, to build the modular refineries that the region needs, to increase employment opportunities, to create jobs for our teeming youth in the Niger Delta region. Funding over time, we know, is definitely going to be a challenge, but those that are ready for the business will definitely sort it out. And we have persons, group of individuals from the Niger Delta region, because it is our region. And what we are facing is best known to us. As the region that is laying the golden egg, our challenges too are very, very enormous and peculiar to us. So what we are saying is that whatever thing that has to do with the region, the stakeholders from the region should be always put into consideration. Because the environmental challenges is best known to us because we are the people that are having the brunt. The economic challenges is best known to us. The security challenges is best known to us. So some external persons that will want to come and invest will definitely play politics with the region based on mercy. So what we want is complete engagement from the stakeholders and those that are in the oil and gas sectors that are sons and daughters from the region. Okay. On the area of the subsidy that has been removed, this is a policy that is overdue, although the approach that was used is what so many of us are concerned about, because the palliative, the measures that will cushion up the effect was not actually put into play, put into consideration, and they were not really on ground. Be that as it may, for the fact that the Niger Delta region needs rapid development, and if subsidy has been the area that our money, the fund that ought to be diverted to the Niger Delta region for development, then it is our prayer that it should be removed. And now that it has been removed, we know that investors are definitely going to come in, because to a large extent, what we understand is that the downstream sector, as we speak, the downstream sector has already been privatized, and investors will definitely come. And those investors, we know, will definitely build the needed modular refinery that will create the employment that the people of the Niger Delta, the youth of the Niger Delta needs.
Okay, Mr. Tare.
Are likely to face, particularly with domestic feedstock, particularly with funding. Because when people say, oh, modular refineries will be the solution, you know, I raise the question, would they also not be affected by the Nigerian factor? What do you think?
The Nigeria factor to a larger extent, I don't think, because in as much as we are aware, the sector in question is no longer being regulated. Rather, production cost and price is what the regulatory agencies are going to be regulating. Rather, the sector has been completely deregulated. So investors are coming in. And in as much as the Niger Delta region is where the crude itself that is going to be used for the refining of these finished products, majority of investors will definitely come because they will have easy access to the raw material that they are going to use for their production. And I believe as an individual that the Nigeria factor is going to be very, very minimal, because it's private sector that is coming in, and the regulation, price regulation of PMS and all the rest has already been taken care of. So the investors that are going to come in are going to have all it takes, and it will help the local economy, and it will reduce youth restiveness, because unemployment has also been the reason why we have been having all this hostility in the Niger Delta region. And if these modular refineries and some other industries are set up in the Niger Delta region, we are very, very assured that issues of militancy, pipeline vandalism, and all the rest are going to be thing of the past. And we are also looking at areas where the federal government can also get across to these illegal refiners to see how they can upgrade what they are using, since they have the expertise knowledge on how to refine the raw crude. Let us see how the waste itself can be managed, because what is causing the environmental degradation, the environmental crisis in the Niger Delta from the illegal mine is the management of the waste. So if the federal government, through meaningful engagement, can get across to these people and bring the needed expertise, I believe very well that even the illegal modular refineries that are being operated in the Niger Delta region can be upgraded to a point that at least they can contribute to the daily production of PMS in Nigeria for the use of Nigerians. And I believe that if the private sector come in based on the environment that is closer to them in terms of getting the raw crude, I believe the Niger Delta economy is going to change meaningfully for the betterment of Nigeria and the people of the Niger Delta.
All right, Comrade Alaye, there have been comments around NNPC's awarding of contracts for the rehabilitation of its pipelines. A number of people have spoken or kicked against this, especially people from the Niger Delta. They are not quite happy with the organizations or bodies that have been awarded these contracts. I'd like you to tell us your position on this. What are the Ijaw youths saying? Well, how would you have rather it be handled if you don't agree with it? And if you do, I'd like you to please speak on that.
Our problem with the NNPC and the IOCs over time has always been the level at which they undermine the people of the Niger Delta. This is the area, this is the region where you are getting your crude. This is the area, the region where you are engaging all your oil and gas activities. But when it comes to engagement of the people, when you come to contract awarding, you see that our brothers, our sons and daughters that are in the oil and gas sectors are always undermined. And that is why we keep on saying that undermining the people of the region will not really augur well with production and all the rest. Over time, NNPC as a corporation, we have told them, we have agitated, we have engaged them in several ways to see how sons and daughters of the Niger Delta that are into the oil and gas sector can be incorporated. Can you imagine oil licenses are not being given to our people? Now, rehabilitation contract is being awarded. We don't even know when these things were advertised, but no sons and daughter, no company owned by a son or a daughter of the Niger Delta was given. Not even a single company. And 17 companies were given this contract. We are not really comfortable as a council, and we are still consulting, reaching out to our leaders to see the best step that we are going to take on these issues. You know, anytime multi-million contracts of short duration are given out in the Niger Delta, where we know very well that we have competent hands from the Niger Delta that can handle short activities, we are only being undermined and sidelined. And when the people begin to agitate and try to shut down production, they will say that the people of the Niger Delta are a hostile group of persons. The treatment meted to the people of the Niger Delta, especially the Ijaw ethnic bloc, is very, very unfair from the side of the NNPC. We are calling on the NNPC to, as a matter of urgency, to review. Imagine a pipeline rehabilitation exercise that is about to take place in Delta State, given to a retail company that is owned by a northerner, a Rhino. What does he understand about rehabilitation? We have competent sons and daughters that is from the Niger Delta that have been in activities of pipeline rehabilitation for over 2 decades. What is wrong if this group of persons are being incorporated into such kind of program or being considered for such kind of contracts? We are not really comfortable. It is even the pipeline surveillance contract that was given to the people of the Niger Delta. It was more or less a program, a contract that was to cause serious crisis between sons and daughters of the Niger Delta. Over time, at least under even the good local administration, there was a contract of this nation they call Bazero that was awarded. At that particular point in time, this contract was given to people, individuals from the various states, so that they know the terrains of their state and they will be able to engage those that will operate in those areas. But this time, it was single-handedly given to one person, and other stakeholders were agitating. We don't want the NNPC to be bringing divide and rule to the Niger Delta. We are not really comfortable. We are law-abiding. We want a peaceful and a business-friendly environment where IOCs, private investors can come in. Let them not be giving us things that will cause division among the people of the Niger Delta. Okay. Now the renewal is on ground, and we are still agitating and telling the people of the NNPC and the Petroleum Ministry that if there is a way that the people from the various states, like in River State, the likes of Ateketom, a king, a revered king that is a strong hand in terms of understanding the terrain of River State, is there. Engage him.
Okay, I'd like to...
The likes of Asari is also there. If you come to Bayelsa State presently, the likes of General Amagbe is there. Engage them. And we know that our pipelines are going to be secure. And the resources that will be coming will be used meaningfully for the development of the people of the state.
Mr. Alaye,
that is...
Mr. Alaye, I'd like to ask you this pointedly.
I'm with you.
What do you have against the security contract given to Tantita Security, championed by government Ekpemukpolo? What do you have against that contract?
We don't have anything against the contract. What we are saying is that Niger Delta is a very big region. It's vast. And over time, we have produced competent hands. And if you want to engage the people of the Niger Delta, be fair to them. Don't do things that will cause division among the people. Immediately that contract was awarded, we've been hearing clamors every year and there, even at the level of River State, so many people have been agitating. What we want the NNPC to do is that they should keep politics aside. They should place development above politics. They should place the security and the peace of the Niger Delta above politics. And if they want to engage everybody meaningfully and squarely. NNPC have given such kind of surveillance contract before this time. This is not the first time. So why the change of approach? What we are saying is very simple. Engage all those that are supposed to be engaged and don't play politics with the people of the Niger Delta and the security and the development of the Niger Delta people. That is just all. Nobody is against any person that is managing the affairs of the security contract.
Theophilus, just for the purpose of balance, you were complaining about the contracts that NNPCL gave out for the rehabilitation of the pipelines, over 4,000 kilometers from Bonny to Mosime, in the west. Now, NNPC has addressed that matter. I don't know whether you are aware of it. NNPCL said that the award of the contracts, 4 lots 1 to 4, right? With Rano, Liserv, MRS, and one other company that I don't immediately remember, leading consortia, 4 different consortia. Now, they have said it went through tender. The BPP was involved. The Infrastructure Regulatory Concession and Regulatory Commission was involved, and I followed standards. And it is not true, the allegation that you just made now, that those lots were handed over to Northerners. Are you aware of that rebuttal from NNPC? I had to draw your attention to it for the purpose of fairness and balance. What do you say to that response from NNPCL? We heard
what they said, but what I'm saying is that if at all there were rigorous process in the awarding of this contract, I don't believe and I don't think a retail company like AA Rhino will have the opportunity to scale through. NNPC over time, we are all aware, have been playing politics with the people of the Niger Delta. What we are saying is that AA Rhino is not an engineering company. It's a retail company. And as such, even the Miss Oil and Gas is a retail company. The only company that we have seen within the 17 companies in that place that are engineering company is even Oil Safe. So what we are saying is that if they tell us that the process went through all the due process, they are not being fair to us. They are not being fair. They are not being fair. Because there was nothing like advertisement, like the Kaduna to the northern pipeline, that the AKK gas line. That's what I wanted. The advertorial, everything was everywhere and it was open to everybody. But this one, it was when the contract was awarded that we even got to know that there is something of such. And we have also reached out to our sons and daughters that are players in the oil and gas sector. And majority of them have told us in confidence that we aren't aware of such kind of advertisement. So what we are saying is that these are issues. Okay, look at it. The NNPC and the IOCs that are operating. NNPC is an indigenous company. The shares that they are holding in all the operating IOCs is over 50%. Why is that so? It's because they are indigenous company. So now the people from the Niger Delta that are the landlords and the hosts to these places, we have sons and daughters that are operating that have the qualification, the needed expertise, knowledge in this sector. What is wrong to engage them? At least sometimes for fairness, you give them the first right of refusal. Let us see how the people of the Niger Delta can also partake meaningfully in the oil and gas sector.
Mr. Alaye.
By doing so, the pipeline, even the security contract that is given to being awarded, will not be awarded because we will protect this equipment with all sense of sincerity, because we will at that particular point of time believe that this equipment belongs to us. We are part of it. We are critical stakeholders. Until death,
your system is about to time out.
That the 13% derivative should be reviewed upward for proper development of the Niger Delta. Even the OSCOM 3% at this point in time should be reviewed. It should be reviewed upward, so that at least the people of the Niger Delta, the landlords, can have sense of belonging. They will see themselves as critical stakeholders in the oil and gas sector. And with that, we will see an improvement in the life and the living standard of the people. The economy of the region is definitely going to change, and even employment is going to improve. Living standard will increase, and the infrastructural development that we have been crying for will definitely come to play.
Alaye, we get your point.
Even the interventionist agencies that we have in our region has already been politicized.
Okay, Mr. Alaye, thank you very much indeed. We'd like to thank you for joining us. We get your point. The only thing we've not been able to resolve is whether you are a factional leader or not. Some members of the Board of Trustees of the Ijaw Youth Council have sent messages saying, well, Jonathan Lokpobiri is the authentic president of the Ijaw Youth Council. But that has not been our focus this morning. That can be resolved back home among you guys. Our focus has been modular refineries. Thank you very much indeed.